Hi, I'm Fred Burton with Stratfor here today with my good friend Scott Stewart. And Scott, we want to preview for our viewers and readers your upcoming Security Weekly, where you talk about the future of the Islamic State after Mosul. What's your read or what's your takeaway as to what's going to transpire?
Well, I think that first of all, it's just important to recognize that we're not exactly sure how the Battle of Mosul is going to play out. It could be something that's pretty quick. It could be a long, hard slog. But, we're pretty confident that either way, the Islamic State's eventually going to lose control of Mosul, and that this, combined with their losses of other parts of territory, things like Dabiq in Syria, which was, very important to their apocalyptic ideology, and really also the loss of Manbij in northern Syria, which was kind of like their gateway into Turkey and a lot of their smuggling routes into Europe and elsewhere. Those are also going to hit them hard. And so that's kind of what we're talking about, the losses of all these territories, to include the eventual loss of Mosul.
Where do they go next, though?
Well, I think that for the Islamic State in Iraq and the forces in Mosul, I think what we're going to see is kind of a repeat of what we did after the surge and the Anbar awakening in Iraq, where they kind of went to ground. And whether that was they went to ground in the cities like Mosul, that's one of the places where they hid, in the Western Desert. And then they can kind of go back into the style of warfare that they fought during that time frame, say 2010, where they were doing these terrorist attacks from those bases. I think we're going to see some of that. Of course, there's also all the territory and cities that they control in Syria. And certainly for the foreign jihadists that are part of the Islamic State core right now, it's going to be much easier for them to go to Syria than it will be to try to fade in Iraq, where they will stick out. And certainly there again, we saw an exodus of the foreign fighters from Iraq, after the surge in the Anbar awakening. We'll probably see that again. But I think that this time it's a little bit different because
In what way?
Well, it's going to be much harder for them to get home. Everybody's looking for them. Many of them have been identified. There are, bolos. Be on the lookout for them. So it's going to be hard to get home for many of them. So I believe that a lot of them will then just kind of move over the border into the no man's land that Islamic State controls in Syria and continue fighting for the cause and that idea of trying to establish the caliphate.
I know I saw some recent reporting that we have been successful in taking out numerous commanders of the Islamic State. Do you really think that's going to make a difference?
Well, it's going to help. We need to understand, though, that the organization has a long history, going all the way back to al-Zarqawi, going back to Abu Omar al-Baghdadi. These guys have a long, kind of a deep bench and a bureaucracy that's able to kind of move people up to replace. That said, the sheer numbers that they're losing this time is going to be hard to replace. And the experience that these guys have, especially the ones that came out of, the Iraqi military, the Iraqi special forces, the Iraqi intelligence service, it's hard to replace that kind of experience with brand new people. And so that is going to impact the core of the Islamic State.
And these are battle-trained veterans, too.
Exactly, with tradecraft and skills.
Do you see them actually moving towards other perhaps civilian target sets, for example, fixated on multinational corporations in any capacity, doing contract work in country?
Inevitably, we're going to see them continue to try to do the things they did again, I believe, in 2010. So they're going to try to hit the Iraqi Oil Corporation. They're going to continue to try to hit foreign interest in Kurdistan, in the Shia parts, in the south of Iraq, in addition to trying to hit foreign diplomats, foreign military advisors and other people in the country. But they're going to want to try to stir up unrest and keep that unrest going as much as they can, because that provides them cover for their actions. And again, we're talking about the core. I think that we need to keep in mind that this is going to have a different impact on the Islamic State franchises and the grassroots than it does from the core.
Do we have any sense of the overall strength of the Islamic State? I've seen numbers all over the map.
Well, I think that if we're looking at a city like Mosul, for example, just the sheer size of that city, it will require thousands of fighters to secure it. Now, how many of those thousands are loyalists? How many of them were opportunists that jumped on the IS bandwagon that might moonwalk now that there's a threat? I don't know. I don't have hard numbers. But certainly between Syria and Iraq and that whole theater, we're talking tens of thousands of fighters, both the foreigners that have come in and the locals from Syria and Iraq that are also there.
It's going to be tough sledding. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. For those of you that would like more information on this topic, please take a look at Scott's weekly that'll be out on Thursday and visit our website at www.stratfor.com. Thank you.